A specific psychological shift happens the moment you check into a hotel or a seaside rental. Look at how this bright, idyllic resort corridor abruptly flickers and shifts into heavy shadows. This represents what we call vacation mode, an intentional lowering of your physical and psychological defenses to achieve maximum relaxation. You willingly drop your guard, assuming the environment is designed for your comfort. In reality, you are voluntarily placing yourself in an entirely unfamiliar space. You don't know the exits, you don't know the neighbors, and the local hazards. Security experts refer to this vulnerability as geographic displacement. This animated model demonstrates the concept. At home, you exist within a solid, bounded zone of spatial control. But when you travel, that network fragments into scattered, unprotected points. Notice what happens to the boundaries as you move further from your baseline. The lines dissolve. You are physically separated from your traditional safety networks, your trusted friends, your local police, your intuitive read on a neighborhood. You are navigating entirely blind. We will examine 3 real-world case studies showing exactly how predators exploit these blind spots. We will break down how physical isolation, environmental ignorance, and social politeness are turned against travelers. This state of mind creates a measurable gap between a traveler's perceived safety and actual vulnerability. Our first case involves an 18-year-old on a family trip to coastal Maine. The family rented a massive property deep in the woods. The interior was a maze of intersecting hallways and dead ends, completely divorcing the occupants from any sense of spatial logic. The house connected directly to a smaller unit occupied by the property owner, an eccentric man named Hugh. The teenager immediately fixated on Hugh as the primary threat, focusing all his paranoia on the unlocked interior door separating their living spaces. That paranoia seemed justified when, home alone in the pitch black of night, the teenager heard a massive crash coming from the dark hallway directly outside his bedroom door. He had barricaded that door with a heavy wooden chair. Sneaking into the hall, he found the chair knocked over and a strange backpack lying on the floor. The impact of the falling barricade. Look closely at this low-resolution security capture. The footage shows a tall, bald stranger stepping out of the teenager's bedroom. The intruder had been waiting silently inside the room the entire time. In a strange layout, our instincts fail us. The physical walls meant to keep danger out can easily serve to conceal the predators lurking right beside us. While walls create blind spots, removing them entirely introduces a different hazard. In West Palm Beach, Florida, 3 cousins were navigating the crowded bar district. After having too much to drink, one of the cousins wandered off alone into the thick tree line bordering the street. Chasing after him, the remaining 2 cousins immediately lost their bearings. As this footage of a handheld flashlight beam shows, the moment you cross into dense swamp foliage, sensory deprivation takes over. The mud and thick brush swallowed all ambient light from the town. Forced to hide quietly in the mud to listen for their cousin, they instead heard unearthly, desperate screams echoing through the swamp. The violent, erratic sounds bounced off the trees, making it impossible to pinpoint the source. Then, abruptly, the screaming stopped. They fled back to the safety of the street. Returning the next morning in the daylight, they retraced their steps to investigate. Deep in the brush, snagged on a branch, they found the torn sleeve of the Vevan jacket. A few feet away lay the rest of the jacket. The mud in that small clearing was completely torn up by a chaotic cluster of deep footprints, painting a clear picture of a desperate, violent struggle that vanished into the deeper woods. Tourists assume the wild areas bordering a resort town are as tame as the beaches. Wandering into unfamiliar environmental arenas leaves you entirely at the mercy of whatever already knows the terrain. Our final case takes place in Ocean City, Maryland. A highly extroverted tourist struck up a conversation with a seemingly friendly man at a gas station, freely sharing the name of the condo where he and his girlfriend were staying. Over the next 2 days, the man and a female companion began appearing on the beach directly next to the couple. They didn't wear swimsuits, bringing only street clothes and a large, empty tote bag. Later, the tourist spotted the pair lingering at the base of his specific condo building, watching the balconies. The casual encounters escalated into active stalking. While the couple was out to dinner, the tourist's phone began ringing relentlessly. When he ignored the calls, a text message came through with a chilling directive: "Don't go to your room yet." They returned to find their condo door unlocked. Inside, their suitcases were completely ransacked. The intruders ignored valuable electronics, choosing instead to steal a specific pair of shoes, a swimsuit, and one highly specific item. This image of the hotel dresser details the exact nature of the violation. Amidst the chaos of the upended suitcases, an empty picture frame lies face down. The stalkers removed and stole a printed photograph of the couple. By prioritizing social politeness over caution, the couple inadvertently lowered the very barriers designed to keep strangers out of their private lives. In each of these cases, the illusion of safety collapsed completely. The heavy locks failed in Maine. The Florida wilderness absorbed a violent struggle without a trace. The busy, populated beaches of Maryland provided perfect cover for a targeted break-in. There is one chilling detail connecting these three very different locations. Despite security cameras, footprints left in the mud, and direct social interaction, none of the perpetrators were ever identified or caught. This chart maps a behavioral pattern known as transient predation. Criminals flock to high-turnover tourist destinations specifically to hunt. They attach themselves to a target, strike, and detach, using the constant influx of new travelers to remain completely anonymous. Calculated human malice thrives in these environments by weaponizing the very anonymity that tourists value. The act of traveling requires you to leave your safety network behind. When you drop your guard in an unfamiliar place, the most dangerous things in the dark are other people, waiting for you to look away.